Hello and welcome to Le Mans for this historic handicap race which was arranged for the community by McFlurry. As you can see, we're going for the traditional Le Mans start, but as all these cars have very different specs, the times have been set in a qualifying session to work out when they should go. Of course, the slowest cars going first. There's going to be 4 races in total, and it's going to be the last race when we've really hopefully nailed the proper gaps for the cars. Valet's led us away there in his Lancia. Certainly not the fastest thing on the track, but also not the easiest thing to drive in this field either. As you can see there, the car suddenly deciding to change direction. I don't think that you're looking at a driver here who doesn't know how to race. Valet, a very fast driver, very well respected. This car, however, in this spec, just an incredible handful. The second driver is away, and that is myself in the classic Maserati. You may have seen one of the races in this series on this channel already, where I showed my POV of this car in VR, because it was such a fantastic pleasure to drive. The third car away is Dr. Pepsi in that Citroen Palace, which, as you can see, is handling about as well as a boat. Good luck with that, Dr. Pepsi. And then we've got Tweetman as well. Tweetman looking very dangerous. Oh, that car sounds so good. Tweetman looking very dangerous in his Escuri liveried car. Although I can't actually work out what it is. If somebody wants to let me know, then please do so in the comments. I know I should know what it is, but with that livery on, nah, it's thrown me. Oh, penalty. Cheating already. Super Uber in 5th. What can he do? That car's got some real ground clearance on it, and it's looking a little bit washed out. Just behind him, Elton there in the Lambo looks much faster. So I think Elton might do well down the Mulsanne straight here. 7th car away is a Unicorn in what I believe is a Corvette, and look at that, so purple, so very purple. Last 2 cars are away. We've got McFlurry in the Jaguar. I think we saw him drive that before in a Goodwood handicap race. And then right at the back we've got Chris Charr, who's probably not at the back because of his times, more because he's been making a cup of tea and he's set off late. It looks as though Dr. Pepsi's already catching up with my Maserati. I don't know what Dr. Pepsi did to that Citroen, but it was tuned very strange. Just controlling it was a handful. Look at it, under braking. That car not wanting to slow down. He only got 3 laps here. And the idea is that because of the times being taken into account, everyone should finish more or less together. That's probably how it'll go in the last race, but these first races, it doesn't really work out like that. That does not sound like a Citroen at all. That sounds like a Formula 1 car. That's crazy. And it looks like it's about to come and eat my car. So Dr. Pepsi already on lap 1, about to gobble up the tiny Maserati, but that rear end, the car's so thin at the back. I don't know how Dr. Pepsi is getting it through the S's so quickly. Oh, is he going around? Yeah, he's dropped it. So I'm safe for another day. Oh, and he got reset. So that's bought me even more time. Thank you very much. Oh, here comes Elton. I get the feeling that perhaps Elton's times will need to be adjusted for the future races, because he's just carving through the field at the moment. Maybe he was sandbagging in qualifying, who knows. Heading back onto the Mulsanne straight, this is where the Maserati is going to get absolutely destroyed by the Lamborghini. Here we go. No question about it. That Lamborghini perhaps needs its times nerfing. But can he catch up with Valet? We can just see him in the distance. Just looking at the map here. Oops, that's Dr. Pepsi in a barrier. I was going to say, just looking at the map here, we can see that drivers are starting to bunch up now at the halfway point of this race. Can Tweetman catch up to the back of Dr. Pepsi with that Citroen? The Citroen just looks so quick. Super Uber, I'm not sure he can keep up either in his Ferrari. Certainly trying. That car is so high. Got no right to be that high. But here he comes. Tweetman looking like he's going to be under pressure any second from behind. Here comes Super Uber. Sweeps past. We'll probably do exactly the same to Dr. Pepsi. Well, up at the front, that's Elton taking the lead from Valet. And back to the Mulsanne. Super Uber there, clearing Dr. Pepsi on Unicorn, clearing Tweetman. So Unicorn on the move. Oh, don't move too far. There's Kitty Litter out there. That's all good. It's all fine. Everybody's safe. Deep breaths. It looks as though Dr. Pepsi is going to be powerless to resist the Unicorn. It goes around the outside of the Citroen. Unicorn on the attack now against Super Uber. It's definitely looking to be one of the racier cars, even its design language. Oh, Super Uber's off. So that gives Unicorn a clear run, and Super Uber with all kinds of issues they're getting going. Tweetman in the background as well, also missing that corner, pushing too hard. I'm surprised not seeing McFlurry and Chris Charr yet. Those two, I think, have the time slightly wrong as well. Oh, Dr. Pepsi there almost missed that chicane, and that's left him very vulnerable to Super Uber, who comes through as we start the final lap. So once the maths is all done right, the cars will all come together at the end. It looks like it might happen in this first race. Unicorn now approaching my little Maserati. I don't think there's much we can do about this, except perhaps try to get some slipstream. Don't forget it, that slipstream is gone. Unicorn heading off after Valet in second. It's just a little way up the Mulsanne. Super Uber approaching the back of the Maserati as well. Here it comes, along with Dr. Pepsi in tow. So I'm in a lot of trouble here. Sky going black. I don't think there's any risk of rain. That's not something that was on. Super Uber flashing the lights saying, get that little red thing out of the way. I'm coming through. There's nothing we can do about this. There's no point trying to block a car's a massively different straight line speed. It looks like the Citroen not quite able to catch up. It sounds as though it's hitting the limiter. So that is the Citroen's top speed, despite its massive power and acceleration. Unicorn's made it past Valet as well. Let's see. That's happened just before the hairpin. The Unicorn's going to try and get up after Elton, but I don't think there's enough time really. Elton already on his way to the Porsche curves, so that's not going to be an easy task at all to catch. Speaking of catching, is this the point where Dr. Pepsi is going to come and mug us in his Citroen? Just behind Tweetman's got McFlurry for company. Not quite sure which of these two scraps to watch. Let's see what's happening here. Well, Dr. Pepsi can get up to speed. Once he's there, just hasn't got enough speed to get past. Elton, meanwhile, on his way to the finish line in the Lamborghini, which I get the sense is going to get nerfed for the next race. Here it goes into that final chicane for the last time. Well, this is the penultimate chicane, sorry. For the last time. Going very, very slowly. Trying not to mess this up, get penalties. This Unicorn some way back in second place. Valet managed to keep the car more or less in the right direction, although Super Uber is approaching from behind. Super Uber in a much faster car, so this could still be on for a change of position. Valet there, I can't see, oh there he is, there's Super Uber approaching now. I think Elton's about to cross the finish line. Or is he? He's just sat there at the moment. Oh, Valet in trouble, we've got a yellow flag up ahead, which I think he's out and I think he's stopped. So Unicorn takes the win. Oh, Valet gets biffed out of the way by Super Uber, that was rude. Elton's finished second. I wonder if Elton actually handbrake turned over the finish line. Super Uber possibly waiting for Valet there. No, he was taunting him, that's just mean. So mean. Dr. Pepsi there coming in 5th. I managed 6th. McFlurry made it in 7th. Here comes Tweetman in 8th, doing his best to get a cut penalty. And in 9th, Chris Char. Well, I think we sort Chris Char's times or car out because that just did not happen. Congratulations to Unicorn though, winning the first race. Okay, we're underway for race 2, and there's a slight change in order this time. The times have been adjusted, some of the cars have been changed. I'm away first. Nice to be in the lead, but don't get excited, I'm not going to stay there. We've got Tweetman away second, so Tweetman is going to try and chase me down before the end of the race, if he can. He's being followed by Dr. Pepsi in that Leary Citroen. Valet has switched to the Ferrari, hoping this might be more lucky than the Lancia, but of course this is going to mess his time up slightly. Then Super Uber in 5th, worth watching out for Super Uber in a straight line. He's very, very fast. Speaking of very fast in a straight line, is Valet now just going to absolutely dump Dr. Pepsi on the Mulsanne straight? We think Ferrari versus Citroen probably is a bit of an unfair fight. And here he comes. No, I thought that Ferrari went straight past Dr. Pepsi. I know Dr. Pepsi's been tweaking his gearing, which is of course against the rules, but there you go anyway. Chris Char's times have been adjusted and he's now away in 6th, with McFlurry away in 7th in that Jaguar. Unicorn away in 8th. Then we've got Elton's Lamborghini away in 9th. And Lang has joined us in that enormous Mercedes, which is just a beast. Dr. Pepsi and Valet still more or less the same distance away as they were before, but both of them catching up with Tweetman just up ahead. Tweetman looking a little bit vulnerable already, even though we're on the first lap. Oh, Dr. Pepsi's dropped it. He's dropped into the path of Valet, who also drops it as a result. Oh, that's a disaster. Or was it tactical by Dr. Pepsi? I don't think it was tactical, was it? Well, what do you think? Was that a tactical accident by Dr. Pepsi? Let me know in the comments. Wrong answers only. Looks like McFlurry is catching Chris Char quite nicely. Oh, Chris on the grass. And into the kitty litter. So that is McFlurry through into 6th place. Is Unicorn also going to take advantage of that? Oh no, Unicorn spins out. Oh, Unicorn there. Ah, so unlucky. Chris Char was in their sights, but unfortunately, oh well, it's all gone wrong. And that has put Unicorn right into the clutches of Elton in the Lamborghini, which we know is so fast in the straight line. Of course, Unicorn's car isn't exactly slow either. But can Unicorn fend off Elton Oh, it's a tall ass. We've got a yellow flag up ahead. That's for Chris Char once again. He's having all kinds of handling issues. And that is Elton already past Unicorn. That Lamborghini, absolutely ridiculous. And now he's going to hunt down Chris Char. I think there's going to be quite a speed difference there. Here we go. Elton right on the back of Chris Char. Going to try and go around the outside. No, he couldn't find a way through there. But the Morsan Straight is where Elton is sure he's going to power straight past Chris's car. There we go, into 7th. Another change of position a little bit further down the Morsan Straight, where Super Uber has just taken Valet for 4th place. So that Ferrari not quite as overpowered as I expected it to be in Valet's hands. So, well, I guess the time's got to be adjusted again. Tweetman and Dr. Pepsi side by side. The little Citroen that could. And that is through. I'm starting to think that what Tweetman's driving there is the Alfa Romeo. So we'll go with that, I think. Tweetman trying to come back at Dr. Pepsi. Because we've already seen that the Citroen does top out a little bit early. Tweetman trying to go around the outside there, and Dr. Pepsi totally cutting him off. But the two of these catching up with myself in the Maserati at the front. There's Super Uber in the background, only a half-second penalty, that's not going to slow him down much. Tweetman back into 2nd place, putting up a real fight against the Citroen, which is flashing its lights now. Dr. Pepsi wanting to get past, wanting to challenge for the lead. Tweetman out wide, could be a penalty for that, maybe not. Yes, there it is, there's a penalty. So that was unfortunate for Tweetman. Dr. Pepsi trying to line him up because he's got to get the job done in these slower sections before he loses that acceleration advantage, and he needs to get it done before Super Uber catches up. There we go, is this going to be it? Dr. Pepsi dive into the inside. Massive car compared to the cars around him. And Tweetman once again fighting back, not willing to give up that 2nd place spot. And why should he? There's not a massive difference in pace of these two cars, so a fight is what we're getting. And oh, Tweetman just rudely bashing into Dr. Pepsi. But I think that could be job done. Is it? Has Tweetman got more grip? I think Dr. Pepsi's having to compensate for the tail happiness of the Citroen, and that's making him drive very conservatively through some of the tighter corners. And that's where Tweetman's getting the advantage, but now it looks as though the job is done. Dr. Pepsi is going to be staying ahead of Tweetman. Elton approaching Valet now on the Morsan Straight. We know that this is probably where the Lamborghini is the strongest, and look at that, it just destroys the Ferrari, obliterates it. McFlurry also in this area, he is. I wonder if McFlurry can also take the 6th place Ferrari before the Morsan hairpin. He's certainly shifting, here he comes. So another position lost there for Valet. Got a bit of a gaggle up ahead. Elton getting past Super Uber. He's got Tweetman just ahead of him. And that's Tweetman easily dispatched by the Lamborghini. Now Dr. Pepsi just up ahead as well, going into the hairpin. I think in the background we're about to see Super Uber get Tweetman. Here comes Elton for 2nd and 1st. Dr. Pepsi's going to be taking that Alfa Romeo as well, I think, at this point. Yes, he is. Oh well, the little Alfa Romeo that could. It's still plodding along, but not particularly quickly. Here comes Super Uber. Tweetman dives into the slipstream. but Super Uber now looking for that place on the podium, the place that I currently hold. So I don't think I'm going to be holding it for very long. Oh, Super Uber getting sideways and drops it. Spins, stays pointed the right direction, but has lost time. And now he's got McFlurry for company. McFlurry coming up the inside. Great reaction by McFlurry there, taking full advantage of that situation and getting through it safely. Tweetman takes his penalty. I think he's going to lose 5th and 6th. Indeed he does. Super Uber and McFlurry both through. So now it's McFlurry that's coming past that Maserati, and now McFlurry on the attack against Dr. Pepsi. McFlurry doing his best to try to catch up with Elton in first place, and Super Uber there still drifting, but managing to hold it all together this time. Up ahead, McFlurry on Dr. Pepsi. McFlurry all over the place. Dr. Pepsi relegated to 3rd. We've got Elton just coming through the chicanes now to take the checkered flag. Not as dominant this time around. Here's McFlurry. Oh! Super Uber's dropped it. Super Uber's dropped it in the chicanes, probably hit the big raised curves. That's McFlurry 2nd, Dr. Pepsi 3rd. We managed to get the Maserati home in 4th. It's Tweeman 5th. What is Super Uber doing in 6th? Unicorn's probably had some issues in this race. We know, we've seen them in the gravel. Chris Charles had terrible handling issues in 8th. Valet in 9th just didn't have the performance. And Lang, well, hadn't set a time, so we didn't really know what that car was going to do. Let's hope that in the next race that car is a little bit faster. And once again, Elton's Lamborghini absolutely dominated. So the times have been adjusted. We've got some different drivers, some different cars. I'm away first still, with Tweetman away 2nd, Dr. Pepsi away 3rd. Then there's a gap to Lang in 4th, who hopefully can perform better this time. Chris Char and S. Alexander there. McFlurry away in 7th. Unicorn in 8th. Then we've got Valet away in 9th, and Elton, hopefully Valet there in a car which he can do something with, because he's having some terrible trouble at the moment. I've driven that Ferrari and I know it is very easy to drive and very forgiving. It looks like we're about to have our first move on. We've got Unicorn chasing down McFlurry, and I think Unicorn has just frightened McFlurry off the circuit. So that's a place made up for Unicorn, which will be doing their best to, you know, really bring back some of that magic from the first race. Perhaps try and get their first win in this event. S. Alexander now approaching Lang in 4th place. So it looks as though this could be quite an easy move. Yeah, piece of cake. Up the road is Dr. Pepsi in that Citroen. And it's not too far from there to Tweetman and myself, just going through the Mulsanne hairpin. Tweetman actually looking like he's going for the lead this time. He's very close. S. Alexander about to start harassing the Citroen of Dr. Pepsi. This is not a fair fight. I'm sorry. There's nothing fair about this fight at all. And I think for the last race, S. Alexander there going to get something about a penalised time, shall we say. A nerfing. Tweetman, meanwhile, hunting me down. He's looking very hooked up this race, apart from those little bubbles there. I'm pretty sure that since S. Alexander hasn't got a proper representative time this time around, they're going to be ignored in the standings, and will take their result in the last race as being their true pace, because, you know, this is lap 2, and look at the difference in pace. Oops, and that's a wall. real battle is here. Myself just plodding along, driving quite happily, but Tweetman on the approach. Surely this is it. There's no way we can fight off that Alfa Romeo. It's too sexy. My car's too cute, and the sexy car is always going to beat the cute car, unfortunately. Here we go. No, I thought Tweetman had got it then. He's just looking for a way through safely, I think. He doesn't want to be compromised and end up losing ground. Dr. Pepsi behind him. And that's job done. There's no fighting that. So Tweetman is our de facto leader at the moment. Oh, here comes Dr. Pepsi on the Mulsanne straight for the final lap. He's about to munch my car. Steps out of the slipstream. And also look in the background there, we've got Lang approaching as well in that big throaty Mercedes. Oh, that sounds so good. Nothing else in the field that sounds quite like that car. That looks like it could just drive straight over my car and it wouldn't even make a scratch. It'd just make it a little bit dark for me for a moment. Dr. Pepsi about to monster Tweetman for the lead of the race. Tweetman goes defensive, and I think he actually compromised himself there because it looked like the weight transfer was horrible. Oh, bashing doors once again. Tweetman not liking being overtaken by that Citroen. But that's not his only problem, because that Mercedes is coming as well. And that thing is a bullet in a straight line. Lango with a penalty, so that's going to halt his progress. Dr. Pepsi going defensive, Tweetman going around the outside, once again fighting it, but Tweetman, where's he gone? There he is, he's fine. He's got it covered. Lang about to take his penalty. Will that be enough for Tweetman to get back into third place? I don't think it will. I think the Mercedes is simply too powerful. Too hot in a straight line. This is our current podium. In the background there we've got Elton, and we've got Unicorn on the approach as well. Not to mention Chris Char, so we're much closer together now. McFlurry in the same area as well, so this is it, it's working out this time. Let's get back to the front, because now we're going to have a real race on our hands. Dr. Pepsi, can he win this race, or is this Lang's victory? Well, Tweetman isn't too far back either. If Dr. Pepsi and Lang take each other off, this is Tweetman's win. So let's not count any chickens yet. I don't think anything's actually hatched. Lang, look, oh, that big boat of a Mercedes there, very ponderous through the chicanes, and they're going side by side, and I don't know who's going to cross the line first. It's going to be Dr. Pepsi. I think it is Dr. Pepsi, and then Lang, and then Tweetman. Unicorn made it to 5th. I managed 6th, then McFlurry goes down to 9th because of a penalty. Elton in 8th. Valet with the fastest car on the track. Couldn't do anything with it. Oh dear, what a bad day he was having. But Dr. Pepsi, our de facto winner of the penultimate race. And so, on to the last race of the day. This is when we should have all of the split times perfect. This should be a good, clean, close fight. But who's it going to be? Who's going to take all the beans? Because that's what this race is for. It's for all the beans, because this is when the handicap should be so perfect that we can have a great race from start to finish. I'm away first in the slowest car, and then Tweetman chasing. Once again hoping he can get a nice early pass on me. Dr. Pepsi's Citroen is proving to be quite the powerhouse when he can keep it in a straight line. Lang really proved himself with the Mercedes in the last race. It's not good in the slow sections, but in the faster sections, the sweeping sections, that Mercedes can absolutely do the business. Chris Char's been having some handling issues with his Ferrari Dino, but he's doing his best to stick with it. He's been improving his times as he's been getting used to the car. Let's hope that he can pull something out of the bag here. Equally hopeful of a better performance is McFlurry, the event organiser. In that E-Type, it's such a good car, but it's so difficult to drive. As you can see there, the car all over the place. Not too far back from him, Unicorn. Unicorn's already shown that the Corvette is phenomenal, but unfortunately it's another car that's very difficult to handle and it's not very forgiving. Valet there in 8th in the Ferrari Le Mans car. Really struggled in the previous race with it. It's a car you have to get used to, but it will give back what you put in. And in the back, S. Alexander. Well, we saw just how good that Honda was in the previous race, so she's going to be hoping for the big money, because this is it. She's in now. Can she take the win? Well, it looks as though the Honda is faster than the Ferrari in a straight line. I think this is going to be the first pass of the race. Are they saying go right please, because I'm going to stay right here? And there you go. So the first pass is made on the first run down the Mulsanne straight. That's got to make Valet's heart absolutely sink. Tweetman's starting to look very close now, and we've got Dr. Pepsi materialising in the background. The days of the Maserati are numbered at this moment, as Tweetman's Alfa Romeo bears down on us. You can see just how much faster through the corners it is. You know, we've had plenty of time now to get used to these cars. There's not been much to get used to with my car. It's had so little power, it's been a case of just point it and squirt it. Tweetman's car, not quite the same. It's taken some real learning, but now he's got it, and he's approaching fast and hot. And I think this is going to be done even before we reach the start-finish line. Look at the difference there in grip, and oh, that is it. Tweetman just sends it, and Tweetman takes the lead of the race as we go into the last lap. Dr. Pepsi is approaching behind. Who's that in the background? That's Lang in the background, so Lang isn't too far back either. Tweetman with a chance, but if you look at the minimap, you'll see that this time we've got the times much better. Everybody's much closer together. Myself and Tweetman, they're both missing our braking points. That's going to put Dr. Pepsi on us very, very quickly. In fact, here he comes to wreck my day. Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? It's not going to matter, because there's no way I can fight against the mighty Citroën Palace. I won't be saying that too many times in my life, but you know, there it is. It is what it is. We head down towards Mulsanne once again, and Dr. Pepsi is just going to send it and leave him behind. Can he catch Tweetman for the lead though? And also, is Lang going to get us at the end of the straight here? Because I thought it'd be much faster, to be honest. I wonder if he's had some sort of issues. Maybe we can see by the fact he's got a cut penalty, the car isn't going exactly where he wants it to. The Citroën buzzing off the limiter, approaching Tweetman. Tweetman going defensive. Looks as though Dr. Pepsi's just going to open his bonnet and swallow the Alfa Romeo, but instead all he does is overtake it. Tweetman's not going to take this line down. We know that he's better in the corners with that car than the Citroën is able to handle. And well, there's a big tight corner with a heavy braking zone coming up. Dr. Pepsi's got to be very, very careful not to drop the back end of the Citroën. He's done it, he's made it through. This could be Dr. Pepsi's race to win, but Tweetman is coming back at him. Tweetman not taking this one, lying down in the background there. Lang taking third place, so he's on his way. He's approaching. Tweetman, oh, he just can't quite stay with the Citroën. I think Tweetman might be vulnerable now to the Mercedes behind him. 0.5 seconds for the first, second and third cars. so none of them with a penalty advantage really. They're all going to have to slow down the same amount, which is going to be not a whole lot. McFlurry in 5th place, just approaching in the background. I'm sure he would dearly love to win the final race of his own event, but Tweetman's gone wide. He's missed the corner, and that's put Lang up into 2nd. So Lang is now going to have a good straight shot at Dr. Pepsi and the win. It's all getting very, very tight. McFlurry up into 4th place in the background, so McFlurry is coming. He's got, I think he's got Tweetman as well. Yeah, McFlurry up into 3rd place. It's going to be right down to the wire. We're running out of time. We're seeing in the background there's Unicorn as well, about to take Tweetman. Chris Charles also passed Tweetman, so everybody bunching up. Dr. Pepsi's got to be feeling very vulnerable right now. In fact, he's just on the back end. I think Lang's about to take the lead. Lang did indeed take the lead. Dr. Pepsi's up the inside, but he can't make the move. Here comes McFlurry. He's drifting. Well, this is a very different 1st, 2nd and 3rd we've had already. We've got to trust that McFlurry did the maths right. I think he's about to win his own event if he can keep that car stable. We know that Lang's car is very stable. Dr. Pepsi's got a penalty, so I think he's out of it. Oh, McFlurry's sideways. Lang's ahead. Lang's ahead for the win. Can McFlurry get through? No, Dr. Pepsi pushes him out of the way, and Lang wins the feature race. McFlurry 2nd, Dr. Pepsi 3rd. S. Alexander, I don't think that's going to stand, no. Chris Char 4th, S. Alexander 5th, Unicorn 6th, Tweetman 7th, myself 8th, Valet last again. Races such as this one can take a lot of effort to put on, and so I want to thank McFlurry for organising this and doing all the maths. Thank you very much for that, and of course the community for racing as well. And to you, it's great that you made it this far in the video. Hope you'll join us again for more racing in the future. But until then, bye bye for now.